Why are all of these places hiring, but like won't fucking hire?
Well over 3,000 jobs. That is the lowball estimate of how many jobs in total I've applied to since I graduated college in the winter of 2021.
Every time I try to come in here, there's nothing on the shelves. There's no one working. Y'all don't have any cashiers, and y'all have to close early because y'all don't have any workers. I said, give me the job. I had to go in there and demand a job for them to give me a job.
I got fired from my second job because I wouldn't post a ghost job.
It's been a few months and not a single one ever hit me back. Not even McDonald's, bruh. Ronald McDonald out here hoeing by not giving people jobs. That greedy ass clown. Bro, you know you are a cook when not even McDonald's wants to hire your chopped ass.
Hey guys, it's Blahzaye. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about how it's so hard out there in the job market. 2025 is absolutely going crazy. The tariffs are absolutely insane. And not only are there tariffs, there's a bunch of ghost jobs out there that are making you seem like there's a lot of competition for your job when there absolutely isn't. I'm just here to ask, is your professional life starting to feel a lot like the dating life? The dating market, are you getting ghosted out there? Is it that bad? We're going to have a couple of stories out here and maybe a couple of remedies so you can avoid these ghost job traps that are currently in the market. So make sure to stay throughout the video. This is a test of your attention span. Guys, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit the button. Comment down below. I want to have a conversation about these ghost jobs and how prevalent they are and should they be illegal or not. And if you like this type of content, please subscribe for videos in the future. Let's get into it.
Why are all of these places hiring, but like fucking hire?
Well over 3,000 jobs. That is the lowball estimate of how many jobs in total I've applied to since I graduated college in the winter of 2021. Statistically, job openings on the market are at an all-time high. Why does it feel like it's absolutely impossible to get a job right now? Well, I'm about to tell you why. Because no, I never even managed to actually find a way into the industry in which I graduated from and wanted to join. In fact, it's so hard for Gen Z and millennials to get a job nowadays that even when I did finally get a job, after like 8-9 months of applying, I continued to apply to jobs because I knew that's literally how hard it is to get a job. That if something happened at that job, it could be another 2 or 3 years before I found another one. In fact, I got laid off this week from one of my 3 current jobs for budgeting reasons, and I haven't even bothered to start the applying process again because it just feels so pointless. And people like this who are selling coaching services might try and convince you that your approach is the issue. Unfortunately, it usually has nothing to do with you, which makes you feel even more helpless. Like when I finally managed to find jobs that were actually doing interviews, I would make it to the end round of candidates for those interviews. But the issue is right in front of you. When you open up your LinkedIn and you look at all your job applications, what do you see right away? Only one of them says that it was even viewed. And most of them just all go completely unviewed and untouched. And that's because most of these jobs aren't actually real. And I can confirm this now as someone who worked within a company and whose friend worked within a very large company we'll call saline forces. One day I noticed they had hundreds and hundreds of jobs listed on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh, I should apply and come work with you. It would be fun. And he said, none of those jobs are probably real. We just keep posting the same jobs over and over again, and most of them aren't even real, so that it looks like we're constantly growing and doing well to people on the outside. And most companies do this. Even one of the companies I worked for did this. We would always have a couple jobs posted for our department just in case like the perfect Goldilocks person came along to fit it. But for the most part, it wasn't really a real job. They're referred to as ghost jobs, but there's no way of knowing at first glance which ones are real and which ones are fake, so they all go into counting to these numbers. That allegedly the job market has 1.4 positions posted for every person looking. I don't know why we're not cracking down more on that.
Why?
Yeah, and I think this is definitely like a factor towards the U.S. job market as a whole, especially when those numbers are reported nationally and it makes it look like there's so many positions open. I don't know why the unemployment rate's at 4.2% per the last jobs report, right? So that was the March jobs report. So like there's plenty of jobs out there, but we have such a high unemployment rate and it keeps getting higher. But everybody's trying to apply, and now you're seeing that you're getting dodged, you're getting ghosted, and they're not even viewing the jobs. Let's hit these comments. As someone who has worked in HR, we used to post ghost jobs all the time. It should be illegal, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know why it's not illegal, guys. That is really weird. Throw it in the comments if you know why it's not illegal. Serious, damn. This is probably why. Holy English. That's a misspell though. Serious question. What is the cost of benefit of doing this? Couldn't the company have you do things that are more important? The benefit from what I can see from the outside point of view is that the company looks like they're growing. It looks like they have a bunch of these opportunities, a bunch of these jobs, and to outside investors, to venture capitalist firms that are out there trying to see where they're going to place their money for the next 5 to 10 years. It looks like that company is growing, especially if it's a small company that's doing this. this. You know what I'm saying? This should be illegal. Corporate greed. Why hire more people when they can underpay one more person to do 3 jobs? Throw it down in the comments if you're in a type of situation like this where you know you're doing the work of multiple jobs, or even better yet, you've been hired on and the person you've been hired on to replace, they just started peeling off like one by one, and you had a team of, let's say, 4 people and the other 3 people left, just leaving you to do the job. I've heard so many of those stories, guys. Like, throw it down in the comments if you are in a situation like that, so other people can see like how hard other people have it in this world, and we can actually reflect on that together. Next video.
I was today years old when I found this out. Did you know the job you're applying for might not actually exist? So recently there's been a rise of job postings on the internet called ghost jobs. And what these are fake or outdated job postings that companies never actually planned to hire for. And there was actually a survey with job employers on why they post fake job postings.
I'm gonna pause this one right here. I want to see this. Most common reasons employers aren't actively trying to fill positions. Company is always open to new people to keep current employees motivated. What? This is like harassment, isn't it? This is like you're being abused. You're showing the like, you could have it like this, but you know, I'm gonna put this on this side to make sure you know that some other stuff is happening. Like, I could easily replace you. You see how all these people I'm hiring, so you better keep working. Like, that's what it kind of feels like. To give the impression that the company is growing, that's what we just talked about. The job was filled to have an active pool of applicants in the case of a turnover. Yeah. So this is the threat. This is linked right here. So you have an active pool of applicants in case of, this is why you're motivated to stay at work. In case an irresistible candidate applies, like a Goldilocks freaking fairy candidate comes by, you know, somebody that hits all the marks and exceeds them, and they're getting underpaid, right? They sign on to a bad deal, but they're like extremely qualified, as I'm assuming what that is. To placate overworked employees, forget to delete the job. I could see this, you know, just being lazy. I guess HR department, what are you getting paid for then? And no reason in particular. Yeah, whatever. We just left it up there. Screw you guys.
This includes trying to keep current employees motivated, trying to give the impression that the company was growing, and just to collect an active pool of applicants in case of turnover. But luckily, there are a few tips you can do to avoid these ghost jobs. So the first thing you want to do is check when the job was posted, and if it's been a few months and has hundreds of applicants, then it's probably not a good sign. So if you're on a website like LinkedIn and you want to avoid that, you can search for the job title you want and the city. We're gonna go with Miami. And now you want to click on all filters. And now you want the date posted in the past week. And if you scroll down, you want to check the box under 10 applicants. Another thing you can do is go to this website. You can view a list of companies that have had layoffs recently. So you can see Dell just laid off 6,000 people. That's probably not a good sign if you just saw a job posting from them. I was today.
Yeah, and I think though searching for the layoffs is a great idea, but trying to like mirror it to like where, oh, it's a new job, so it must be fine. Like that is, I don't think that's a recipe for disaster. It definitely, it'll narrow it down, especially if you're in need and you're trying to get out there, you're trying to find it. But if you stay tuned in the next videos that are coming up, we have people that are explaining why might not be the case and why you just probably should, you know, do a couple of other techniques that'll help you in your job search. Next video.
Has anyone noticed, like in today's job market, they don't do the whole thank you for blah blah blah, but unfortunately we're gonna have to go with another candidate. They don't do that anymore. They just go missing. Like just nothing, never a response, never nothing. Like I'm pretty sure there's jobs that I have applied to that I have forgotten about because I just heard nothing. Has any
Yeah, guys, so this is like you're applying for a job and then you get a freaking no rejection email. No, yeah, as she just said, no thank yous for applying. Like nothing, no feedback, follow up. Like, can we talk to somebody? Do I have to go into the corporate building just to get some type of, hey, I just want to like, maybe I can get a feedback for like, I applied, like, you know, just to help me to search for another job. Like, can I get any of that, like back and forth? Or is there anything that you need to see from me to improve so I can, you know, apply for this in the future? No, you don't need any of that? Cool. So like people are just literally getting ghosted. Just like if you're trying to date, you know what I'm saying? You're just getting like no response whatsoever, no feedback whatsoever, no way to actually improve yourself to know if you did something wrong when you applied for that job. Is there something you need to tweak for your resume? You know, people just trying to make themselves better. Next video.
I got fired from my second job because I wouldn't post a ghost job. So let me explain what I do for my second job, what I did for my second job. I was a hiring manager. I usually just post job listings sometimes on Indeed or other job listing websites for my company. I'm not going to explain what company that is because I can't do that. But I am going to talk about what I can talk about because I read through my NDA. I used to post ghost jobs, which are fake jobs to encourage our current employees to work harder. These jobs will be fake jobs, so you can apply for the listing, but not actually get hired. They're called ghost jobs. You're probably wondering, I applied for all these places, why am I not getting callbacks? You might have applied for a ghost job, which isn't a real job. It's just put there to show that we're looking for new hires at higher rates to get our current employees to work harder, as an incentive to make them work harder, as opposed to increasing the base pay or the base rate. And I've made maybe 300 ghost job listings. I've made a lot. I've made so many. It's insane. And what messes me up is that they're still doing it. And I got into a little bit of a scuffle, a fracas, one might say, with my previous hire manager. My hire manager said, hey, you stopped posting ghost job listings. What's going on, buddy? It's really working. It's helping our team morale. I said, listen, this is the first time I've ever said this in my life. I don't feel good about doing this. This might be the first time I've ever said that. I don't feel good about, usually I have like no moral, no ethics about anything. I just didn't feel good at all about doing it, despite the fact.
And I think this is what I had to stop right here. This is like what like empathy is like, especially when you're in a position of power, because he's the one like putting these jobs out there. He's like, well, shit, like I know it's hard out here. I know I got my bros looking for a job. You know, people in my family are looking for a job, and then nobody's hitting them back. And I'm kind of the problem here. Like I know he must be feeling that. So there's like an empathy level where it's like, damn, like I'm the problem? Are we the baddies? Like, so he actually had an empathy overload and was like, well, shit, like I don't feel good doing this anymore. So it's either something's about to change, we're about to have an argument, and I'm not going to be doing this anymore.
The fact that I was getting a massive bag from it. And he said, well, we need somebody to do it, and you're the best we've got. I'm not going to continue to post ghost job listings so our employees can act like they are scared to lose their jobs. That ruins their mental. It destroys their mental health deeply. And he said, that's HR's job, not ours. So I'm talking to him, and I'm arguing. And at this point, he's shouting, I'm calm. So I'm thinking I can take it to HR, and he says, you know, we're probably going to have to talk about this later, but you should clock out for the day. I said, I don't want to clock out for the day because we're not done talking about the specific issue. This is insane. This is psychotic. So I go cool off. I talk to my friends in the Discord. We're cooling off. We're talking about it. Another one of my friends does the same job as I do. He also posts ghost jobs. And it's disgusting. It's not just my company. It is every company I'm seeing doing this. It's Walmart doing this. It's Amazon doing this. I'm not going to disclose my company, but it's Best Buy doing this. They're posting these fake job listings to trick you into thinking, oh, well, they're hiring a bunch of other things, or because just in case you're looking to move to a new job or talk about needing a pay raise, and they'll post a new job at a higher rate. Say you got hired in at $17 an hour. They'll post a ghost job at $22 an hour. And if you try to apply for that, they'll clock you for that. If you try to apply for that, they'll clock you for that, and they'll know it's you because they got your social security number and you applying for the job. It is a disgusting business practice. Because as soon as you apply to get a higher position or anything like that, they'll talk to you about it. And they'll ask you, why do you want a higher position? Do you want more pay? Are you dedicated to the company? They'll give you a performance review. They'll check everything about you just to see. I recommend, this is my honest opinion, this is my honest recommendation, doing the bare minimum at jobs. Bare minimum. I mean bare minimum at jobs. Just coast. Just coast by doing the bare minimum at jobs. Don't try to do anything extra or crazy. Just coast by doing the bare minimum at jobs. I'm so serious. Because I didn't know this was so much of it. I thought it was just my job doing this. I thought we were like the monopoly on doing this. That's what I thought. But I'm applying to other jobs. I'm applying to other places, and I'm noticing the ghost jobs. I'm noticing that there are many of them. There are so many ghost jobs that are just fake. They're just fake jobs. I am sickened. I'm disheartened. I'm disgusted. I'm angry because I don't have my second job anymore, by the way. It was a small job. I worked 20 hours a week just doing the analytics and the hiring for a company. That's all I did. But I still work at Amazon. But man, I'm just sickened. Amazon doesn't care about what I post, by the way. They're fine with me doing whatever. Amazon doesn't check anything I do. They don't care about me at all. But man, this is stupid. This is weird. Look up ghost jobs. Just look them up.
Okay, we're going to go down into the comments real fast. It said the corporations have zero ethics. If a person applies for a ghost job, not only do they not get the job, the company has all of your info. This is why no one should put their exact personal information in their CV. That's hard because then when you go in, they're going to be verifying your information, and then you're going to be sitting there trying to guess and trying to remember out of the hundreds of applications that you've put in what exactly kind of fake or skewed information you put on that resume, right? Can they sell your data or info? I don't know. That's a hard one. If you know about that, throw it down in the comments, please. I work as a private nanny. I once found my job on one of the sites I used to get work, so I confronted the family about it, and they said they were keeping their options open. Yeah, you deserve security if you're doing your job, for sure. The fact that ghost jobs aren't illegal is mind-boggling. Could be a case for a retaliation lawsuit. Would consider exploring that. A ghost job would make me leave harder. And ghost jobs also affect those who are desperate for a job, and they're filling out 20 applications a week. That's filling out way more applications a week on Indeed, and people are waiting on a response from these companies. Holy. And it says companies get a tax reduction in write-offs for saying they're hiring and putting it out, but not hiring anyone. That's what he meant to say. Yeah, that's true. I can see that. There's definitely some type of benefits, and there's no regulations that are saying like, hey, you can't utilize these type of tactics, these hiring tactics. You can't deduct it. We don't know like how the businesses are actually regulating all these positions, but you know it's definitely to their benefit, and it affects the bottom line. Next video.
Baby, they're not playing about the job market. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. Every single job that I have ever interviewed for or even called about, I have gotten on the spot, or either did my first interview and they called me back literally that day, or within 24 hours and gave me the job. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, do I need to revamp my resume? Like, I was all on Indeed. I was all on LinkedIn. Like, I was everywhere, baby, with my resume. Everywhere. I'm talking about, like, I have applied. Like, I'll have to, like, post, like, a screenshot of my Indeed on how many jobs I applied to. It took me has it been 4 months now? Maybe 3 months. It's been almost 3 months trying to find a new job. So if you see them videos that pop up on TikTok saying don't quit your job, baby, don't. Unless you start the next day at a new job, do not quit your job. It's been 3 months. Like, I have spent all my days and nights crying, boo-hooing, praying to God, trying to find a job, because like I've been to probably over 35, 40 interviews. Like, I started not even believing in myself. I was like, is it you? And it's either you're overqualified or underqualified, or either I'm asking for too much. I didn't know asking like $25 was a lot. In management, really management, all management should be on salary. And I'm also seeing an increase in like store management not being on salary. Why are you only paying me $15 an hour to be a store manager? Literally went through the entire process with this other boutique. She was like, I like you, da-da-da-da, how much were you looking for? And this is before I watched that young lady's video on how to like answer that question. And I was like, look, if it's a perfect world, I'm looking between 28 to 30. But I was like, I know I put 26 on my resume, and you guys also had 26 listed on your website. Tell me why she told me 26 was too much and they did not call me back. I literally had to walk into a store. Like, I literally just moved about 3 months ago. So this all happened in the span of like me moving. I just moved 3 months ago, and there's a store down the street from my house that I have been going to, and I've not seen the same cashier twice. The store has been closed when it shouldn't be because they don't have workers. The shelves aren't stocked because they don't have workers. So I put in 4 separate applications for that. But like, when I said like 4 separate applications, I called corporate. I called the store. I called the store down the street to try to speak to whomever was over that store. Baby, it took me going in and saying, you guys need help and you guys need me more than I need you to get that job. Literally in my interview, he was like, why do you want to work for my company? I literally told him, I have shopped at this store maybe 6 or 7 times, and every time I try to come in here, there's nothing on the shelves. There's no one working. Y'all don't have any cashiers, and y'all have to close early because y'all don't have any workers. I said, give me the job. I had to go in there and demand a job for them to give me a job.
That was insane. So she has over like confidence in that one as well. You know, came in with actual hard facts, did a full analysis of his store. I mean, just doing that in itself was already extremely effective. You know, that was a critical hit to the freaking owner of that store. He's like, damn, you know my store inside and out. Yeah, I am lacking on workers. Yeah, we can't even stock the shelves right. And my cashiers are absolutely terrible. And she hit all of those simple pain points and be like, I'm your solution solution to all of that. I mean, guys, if you learn anything from this video, like that one, being absolutely aggressive, confident, and know what the hell you're talking about, going in directly solving pain points of store owners, especially if they don't even want to hire to the own detriment of their own store. Like that is what's insane. Like, oh, you put out job applications, you're trying to hire, you're trying to find the absolute perfect fit while your store is in decay because you don't want to sit there and spend what needs to be spent. Trying to keep the money, trying to hoard the money to the detriment of your own store. You're gonna be losing business. I don't know, that's absolutely insane. Let's get to the comments on this video. Says no, dead serious. My job got on my nerves, but I will be clocked in at 8. Yeah, that's the other major point she made. Is like, hey, don't be quitting your job right now. It's hard out here. It's trying to find a job. I've been out of a job since last June. I got hired after 3 interviews. Damn, these rounds of interviews are crazy. And they had to call my references. Then 2 weeks go by with no response. I reach out and they went forward with another candidate. No. After all those rounds of it, why didn't you just call the references first? And then if they pass the references check, then call. But I don't know, because it seems like a pain in the ass to do it the other way. Yeah, because I was reading like the amount of effort it takes to just call the references. Then you had somebody come in to do 3 different rounds of interviews. I would call the references first if that's already a no-go. That's a non-starter. But you do that after all the rounds of interviews? I don't know. That seems backwards. They do not want to pay us, and they know that things are expensive right now. It's 100% them getting back at us for quiet quitting. That is true. They know that the pressure is coming, and they'll be able to get you guys at a lower rate. You know, that is what is happening in the market right now, especially if you're not in a very, very, unique job with a unique skill set. If you're in like a general skill set, yeah, they're going to be putting the pressure on you, especially in these times. And it wouldn't be surprising if this was all manufactured like on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Next video.
Bro, I feel like you have a better chance of finding your dad that left 10 years ago than to find a job in 2025. Like, I swear, bruh, nobody wants to hire me. It's like, why even say y'all are hiring in the first place if y'all won't even take a second to look at my application? Finding a job nowadays is like dating. You're out here shooting your shot by putting in all these applications only for these companies to end up ghosting you. Not even a simple email saying that I wasn't selected. These companies just go completely ghost on you. They out here treating me like I'm some hoe or something. Because tell me why a few months back when I was looking for a new job, because my current one wanted to cut my hours like LeVar Ball cutting off his leg type shit. And so when that shit happened, I applied to over 100 jobs, and we are now in March. It's been a few months and not a single one ever hit me back. Not even McDonald's, bruh. Ronald McDonald out here hoeing by not giving people jobs. That greedy ass clown. Bro, you know you are cooked when not even McDonald's wants to hire your chopped ass. My advice to the people that are currently employed, please, for the love of God, keep that job that you hate so much. If you are one of those that keeps showing up late for work, you better start coming in at least an hour early. And for the ones that keep calling in for work, I want you to hop in that 1999 Civic with 200k miles on it and go clock into that 9 to 5, little bro. Because I promise you, the way the job market is nowadays, the last thing you want to happen to you is to lose your job. But hey, y'all stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, eat your vegetables and fruits, and remember, don't be silly, wrap that willy. But anyways, I'm out of here, guys.
Boy was out here giving premium life advice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, he's absolutely right though. So yeah, maintaining your regular job, it's just like dating out here. You're getting ghosted out in the streets. And then like in the comments, they say hiring immediately and rejects me. Lie on your resume, bro. Trust. I don't know about this one. This might be iffy because they're gonna test you on that one, especially if they're doing like the Zoom interviews and questioning you right on there and seeing if you're looking down somewhere else. I don't know. That's really iffy about that one. Damn, that's exactly what I did. Start my first day as a surgeon tomorrow. He's trolling. 10 years experience and rejected. Damn. The hardest job is finding a job nowadays, right? Construction always taking me in like an orphan. Hey, yeah, that's what they think. These are all for like the white collar jobs. Are there any, like he said McDonald's, I know it's not like a white collar job at all, but you're not outside doing blue collar stuff. You're not moving mortar, laying bricks, out there doing paving, doing roads, construction, all those jobs. And I see the women doing the construction jobs as well as holding the sign and everything. What about those jobs? I haven't seen that from that side yet. I haven't seen any videos from blue collar jobs like, hey, I've applied to I tried to be a construction worker, and nobody's hiring. I haven't seen that yet. That might be the key. You guys might have to stop going for the white collar jobs and start hitting up those blue collar jobs. You know what I'm saying? Throw it down in the comments if you're a blue collar worker and like how it is out there, and if you've been trying to switch jobs or whatnot, and if you're being rejected or anything, or if any of this, the ghost jobs affects you in that environment. Next video.
If you get ghosted on a job application that felt like you really could do that job, here's how you check in with the employer in a way that will make you look good and won't annoy the hiring manager. Paragraph 1. I recently applied to the blank role in your department. I wanted to reach out and personally let you know how excited I am about this opportunity. Paragraph 2. I submitted my application on date, and I haven't been contacted yet about next steps. I understand you're very busy and you may still be in the selection process, but I also know you must have had a great application pool for this fantastic opportunity, so it's possible you went forward with other candidates. And then comes the big ask. By the way, if you want to stop getting ghosted on applications, check out my free resume writing course on YouTube. Now, paragraph number 3. I would love to know whether or not I'm still in consideration, and if not, I'd appreciate any feedback you could give me on my resume or my experience so I can continue to improve for future opportunities. If you get
yeah, I think that's good. The company's actually talkative if you're not getting literally ghosted, because if you're getting literally ghosted, they're not going to respond to any of this. So writing all this stuff out and then sending it out, yeah, good. It's a good note just in case to like show that you have a track record of being, being very forward with your applying and showing how much intention you have for that job. But if you are being ghosted, they're not looking at any of this. Let's be completely honest. So I would say just blast and go. Make sure you can touch as many, get as many contacts and touch as many places as you possibly can. And then that layoff list that we had in the previous video, just going down there and seeing if they're actually being laid, people are being laid off, but they're still posting all these new jobs, and then querying that stuff and going through that and working your way that chain. If you have better tips than that, throw it down in the comments below. People are going to be interested, and they're going to hopefully get some help from the tips that you can provide in the comments down below. Like the video if you got anything from this, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. I've been Blahzaye, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.